Hello PhpStorm friends. In this video we're talking about navigation, which is a super crucial part of every IDE and in general your applications. You will find yourself navigating through different files all the time. Again, PhpStorm comes with a ton of useful features for this, so let's check them out together. The most easy and obvious way of navigating through the application is by clicking files in the sidebar. When I open up the sidebar, I can just click any files here to open them. I know this is probably not something new to you, but yeah, let's be honest. It's a common way of navigating through the application, and I think we all do it from time to time. What you also already have seen here is that I'm using a shortcut to open up the sidebar. And in PhpStorm, the sidebar is one of the tool windows. The favorites window is another one of them, which I can also easily open up with a shortcut. You probably have already noticed that at the bottom of the screen you can see every shortcut that I'm using within the screen flash message. This will help you to understand what shortcuts I'm using. This is also a good time to mention the key map settings in PhpStorm. Here you will find all the available shortcuts. You can just search for specific shortcuts or customize them to your needs. So please make sure to check out this section inside the PhpStorm settings. Next to the specific shortcuts for every tool window, there is another one to show all of them at the board of our app, like here on the left and at the bottom. This will make it easy to go to one of them without the need of knowing all the specific shortcuts. This can be done by pressing the Command key twice and then holding it. By releasing the key again, it will disappear. But now we want, of course, to navigate through all the files without the sidebar, because this will be much faster. And one of the ways is by using tabs. So let's bring back the tabs here because we have disabled them in the previous video. Again, I'm using the global search here to bring them back to, let's say, the top. So here they are, and they present my recent used files. We can click them, switch between them, and close them. But of course it would be better to use shortcuts because this will be much more efficient. So we have two of them in PhpStorm, and one to switch to the next or to switch to the previous tab. Here I just switch between those two shortcuts. Both of them can be found by searching in the key map settings for select tabs. And here we have both of them. So what about when you don't use tabs like me? Let's get rid of them here again and think about how we can navigate without them. Here comes a PhpStorm feature into play I use all the time called Resend Files. It opens up this little window here showing me all my recent used files. And as you can see, I can now switch between them really fast. Of course, the file on the top is the most recent used one. There is another PhpStorm feature which is very similar. It lets you show your recent locations. For this example, I've switched to a different file. Let's take this kernel class here. This is a pretty long file, and let's say we're just checking out a few parts of it to understand what's going on here. Like here, the constructor, then the handle method, and maybe something at the end like this getRoute middleware method. So when we open the recent locations now, you can see it also shows our cursor locations next to the files we were in. These are the locations in the kernel file we were checking out. This is really useful if you take a look at different parts of a file and want to get to different recent locations back. So both the recent file and recent location window is something that I use a lot to navigate through my code. As soon as you're familiar with those shortcuts, you will do the same, I promise. Let's go back to our login controller. Here in the constructor, we're using this middleware method, which is not locating in this file here. If you want to know more about it and see where it comes from, we can use the go-to declaration shortcut, which is Command+B. We switch now to a different file, Laravel's base control, and here's the middleware method we have been using before. This feature was a life changer for me, Every time I'm using a class or method from the framework like Laravel, I can easily find the code and check out what's going on in this method or see the parameters again. This feature taught me a lot about Laravel itself. What is also nice about this shortcut is that it works the other way around as well. I can easily run it on this method name now, and it shows me where this method is being used. We see here the login controller, where we came from, but also all the other controllers using this middleware method. These are the nice little features of PhpStorm that helps you a lot to understand the code base much better. So make sure to use it the next time you find yourself in a new code base, or if you want to know more about a library framework you use like Laravel. For the next way of navigating, I go back to the kernel class. And now I open up the so-called file structure. It gives you this window with more information about the structure of the current file, like properties, what the visibility they have, and the available methods. So you can easily check them here and pick one to see it right away. Besides, you can also filter the results by just starting to type, which is like a little search here. So let's look for something connected to routes. I type in route, and this will show you this filtered results here, where route is in the name or even the parameters. This is really useful when looking through a big file and you don't know exactly what you're looking for. So then you can use this kind of search in this file. This is also a feature that I use a lot in my applications. And last, there is also searching. When you think about it, it's another way of navigating through your applications. We have already used the global search several times, but there are more specific ways like search for a specific class, like the login controller. Or if we're interested in a file, then there is another shortcut and we can look for a specific file like the composer JSON file. And the same can be done to look for a symbol or also an action. Specifying those categories when searching will give you much better results and you will find things faster what you were looking for. Cool, so these were different ways of navigating through your application. Of course, you will find some of them more useful than others, but that's fine. Just try them out and see what works best for you. Again, you will see all the shortcuts in the Flash messages on the screen while I use them, or by checking out the key map settings.